Welcome to another adventure with Getting Lost. Yep. Where am I? I don't know. I think I'm lost. Well, join me as I go maybe over there, and then we find out where we are. Isn't this a bit strange? This is a banana tree. Yes, a banana tree. Look at the leaves, look at the bananas. Even though they're unripe, but what's strange is you are actually have a banana tree that is beside a road, and this road is actually in a university campus. Where are we? Are we in the Twilight Zone? So, we are actually right in the center of the city. And in Singapore, in the center of the city, there is a place that used to be forbidden. A place where only royalty could go. But now, it's a place for everyone. It's a park. Yep, it's a park. But what I like about this park is, as you are walking around on this hill, suddenly you are in a tropical forest. Then you come to a old Gothic gate, and inside there you see old colonial buildings. Then graveyards. And then trees, plants, herb plants. And you turn around one corner, you find a old religious grave. And you turn another corner, you find a multimedia display, a multimedia exhibition about an archaeological find at this location. And then, if you turn another corner, you find some World War II tunnels. And then, not to mention, you can find a cannon here, an old style cannon, and a fort gate at the top of the hill. Where else can you find such things? Yep, you guessed it, we are at Fort Canning Park. As you travel up the escalator, the first place you bumped into is this place called the Farquaad Gardens. So this garden is named after Major General William Farquaad, who was the first British resident and Commandant of Singapore. His practical administration and efforts to improve health, safety and public utilities were critical in making Singapore a successful port city. But another aspect about him is his contribution to the study of natural history. He was a keen naturalist and hired Chinese artists to draw plants and animal species he found in Southeast Asia, and he helped improve the knowledge of the natural world in this region. So as you walk around here, you'll notice lots and lots of natural plant species, and some of the species of plants are highlighted by putting them in this type of frames, and you can see lots of plants that were popular or used to be popular or were in the past a commercial crop of this location. What we have here is the Kharamat Iskandar Shah. Since 1822, this terrace has been popularly regarded as the Kharamat. According to local beliefs, Kharamats are auspicious places to visit, particularly for specific favors. Kharamat places are often tombs of religious people. In 1822, it was claimed that this site here that you see is the burial place of Sri Sultan Iskandar Shah. Who is that? According to Malay tradition, Iskandar Shah was the last of the 5 kings who ruled Singapore during the 14th century. Singapore fell to an enemy attack, but Iskandar Shah escaped into the forest and 2 years later founded another great kingdom, Malacca. At a site that was undisturbed since the 14th century, they found this place, and it's called the Artisans' Garden. Archaeologists excavated the area, and they're still doing it until today. So what they recovered from this place so far were porcelain, earthenware, glass shards. So the artifacts actually shows that there could have been a palace of a Malay kingdom on Fort Canning, and possibly the area that you saw here, this place here, could have been a workshop, possibly of glass or gold. So if that was true, then this could be one of the few places in or on the hill that was open to non-royals. So this location here is on the lower eastern slope and accessible to commoners. So it was believed that this place used to be a craftsman's workshop and living quarters, where the craftsmen enjoy the royal patronage of the people living and working, and they make goods for the residents of the hill. As you can see, they actually done up the place nicely now. It's more of a multimedia interaction experience where you can come here, you can actually see the site, and you can see the different layers of soil and the different timing of the soil too, and you can also see a documentary about people who worked here, the archaeologists, the volunteers, what they found, what their theories are, everything. So if you want to find out more or have interest in early Singapore history, then you can come here and watch this documentary, explore this place here, sit down and enjoy. Delivery, pizza delivery. Is anybody in? Should I go in? The door is open after all. If you ever find yourself at the top of Fort Canning Hill, you'll find a fort here. Yes, this place. This place is an old British fort, completed in 1861 by 400 Chinese coolies. It was named Fort Canning after Viscount Charles John Canning, which was the Governor General and first Viceroy of India. So at the fort, there used to be many cannons, mortars, and even a hospital for European artillerymen. And every morning, a 68-pounder cannon would fire at 5 a.m. each morning to signal the start of the day for those people within a 2-mile radius. The construction of this artillery fort was started despite protests from some quarters which believed that it was a mistake to locate the fort on the hill so far removed from the shore. Unfortunately, Fort Canning was finally demolished in 1907, never having been used in the defense of the country. Currently, only 2 9-pound cannons and the Gothic arch gateway, which you see here, remains of the fort. And only for people who watch my videos, let me reveal a little secret just for you all. a little getting lost secret. Yes, behind one of these doors at the Fort Canning archway, entranceway, there is a small little door here. Yes, a small little door that most people walk past without noticing. Most people do not know it's here. Most people doesn't know of this existence of this place. And inside here, this small little archway, doorway, there's a small little stairs. And you take the stairs up, will take you up all the way to the top of the entrance of this fort gate. And on top here, you can have a good view of the surrounding area. Yes, this secret location brought to you by, I guess, me, the person telling you this story. I found out this place by exploring this area here, and so I'm bringing this knowledge to you so that you can come here and enjoy the view. Get up here too, and remember who sent you here. I told you this secret, and so enjoy the view and this secret place that only we know. This will be our little secret place just for us, exclusively for us. I guess during British times, stealing cannons were a big problem. So that's why they actually padlock the cannon onto the ground. Even though I have no idea how someone will carry such a heavy cannon away. And so there are also many different buildings on this hill. And one of these buildings is this building here, which is the Fort Canning Center. This place originally was constructed as a British Army barracks in 1926, and you can see the colonial origins reflected in the architecture. So this place used to house British soldiers who protected the British interests in Southeast Asia. And near the fort gate is this small building called the Old Married Soldiers' Quarters. It is a small, intimate area which used to house married British soldiers. And over here you can see is the Fort Canning Reservoir. This place was constructed and finished in 1929, and it was built on top of the hill on the sites of the former barracks and parade ground of the demolished fort. This is a covered reservoir, and unfortunately access is restricted to the area. In front of me is the Fort Canning lighthouse and flagpole, and up the hill there is the Raffles House. And this Raffles House is actually a modernized version of the building that used to stand there. This building was completed in 2003, but the original Raffles House, which was a wooden house with attached structures, was built in 1822 and was used as a place of residence by Sir Stamford Raffles. But that house was demolished to make way for the construction of Fort Canning. Then we also have some World War II structures too, which is this place here called the Underground Far East Command Center, or the Battle Box. During the Second World War, the British used these underground bunkers at Fort Canning as a command base. In front of Fort Canning Center is a location called Fort Canning Green, which is an outdoor area where it's popular for outdoor concerts, carnivals. But to get there, you need to walk past these two Gothic gates. This gate is on one side of the green, and it's an imposing, somber gateway in a Gothic style. And the location, which is Fort Canning Green, used to be a Christian cemetery. So the Fort Canning Cemetery was one of the first burial grounds for Christians in Singapore. It's located on Fort Canning Hill. The first burial site of the Fort Canning Cemetery was located near the hilltop, close to the bungalow built by Sir Stamford Raffles. It was in operation from 1819 to 1822 and was discontinued after it was found that it was too close to the Raffles residence. The second burial site, which was in operation from 1822 to 1865, was located on the slopes of the Fort Canning Hills. It was during that time that a pair of Gothic gates were built to enclose the cemetery, and this structure still stands here today. By the end of 1863, the cemetery was full again, and a new site in Bukit Timah was identified as an alternative burial site. So between that time, more than 600 burials took place at this cemetery, and around 1/3 of these burials were those of Chinese Christians. During that time, the cemetery occasionally were cleaned up and conserved by the members of the public, but the state of the burial ground started to deteriorate until 1953, where a city council committee decided to turn the cemetery into a garden of memory. Since the cemetery was in a bad state of repair, they decided to salvage what they could. So to preserve the gravestones that could still be salvaged, they were removed and built into the walls of the former cemetery. Then the remainder of the grounds were gradually cleared over the next 2 decades. Many of the tombstones and statues from the old cemetery were transferred to the garden compound of the Armenian Church on Hill Street. The 12 gravestones that now stand in the northeast corner of this old cemetery grounds are not part of the original cemetery. Instead, they were moved from the former Bukit Timah Cemetery, which closed in 1971. So in the old cemeteries, there were some interesting architectural memorials. First of all is this, the cupolas, and it was designed by George Drumgold Goldman and were probably places of rest. So George Coleman was a talented architect who left his mark on the urban landscape of Singapore. He was Raffles' consultant on Singapore's first town plan, and also as the superintendent of public works, he oversaw projects of land reclamation and construction of roads and landmarks such as the Armenian Church. And then another interesting memorial is the James Brooke Napier Memorial. It was dedicated to James Brooke Napier, the infant son of William Napier, who was Singapore's first law agent, and Maria Frances Napier, the widow of George Coleman. The memorial was the largest erected in the cemetery, reflecting the status of William Napier. And finally, we've reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Fort Canning Park is a very interesting place to come. If you do not have much time to visit Singapore, to see the sights of Singapore, this could be one of the places to come to see the natural beauty of Singapore. And before you go, please do me a favor, help me by liking my video, sharing my video, and also subscribing to my channel. I got PayPal, I also have Patreon. You can support me on those or just watch some of my old videos. And lastly, but the most important thing, don't forget to join me for my next adventure. I will see you guys around. Bye bye.